good? Ah! Stupid! What's up, you guys? It's Dawson, and today I want to talk to you about being a DJ at a roller rink. I'm clarifying that it's different when you DJ at a roller rink just because I don't want people who DJ at other places you try to chime in and say, no, it's not like that. Maybe not where you are, but at a roller rink. At least at my roller rink. So I guess maybe I'm here to talk to you about DJing specifically at Interskate roller rink. First off, I'm gonna go over some of the cool things about being a DJ here. I do birthday shoutouts probably every day. Just people come up to me and be like, hey, it's my little sister's 6th birthday. It's kind of a big deal. Can you make a request for us? Or not request. I don't do song requests, and we'll explain that in a second. I actually love doing the birthday shoutouts just because I always see like how happy the family gets and how excited the kid gets. And then there's of course the kids that are like 14 and the mom does it, and then the little girl's like, Mom, stop, you're embarrassing me. But that, of course, is to be expected out of anybody at some point. Personally, I hated being put on the spot. I couldn't imagine being one of those kids that their parent goes up and is like, hey, do the birthday shout out. I remember one time I was at Olive Garden with my family for my birthday, and I caused the whole thing just because I didn't want to have a whole scene for my birthday. I pretty much caused the scene so that there wouldn't be a scene. I was stupid as a teenager, okay? I was stupid. But regardless, I love actually giving those birthday shout-outs because I feel like I'm just making a family happy. So it is kind of cool to be able to be that guy that's like, everybody give it up for Samantha. She's turning 7. I will say though, there's times where I forget how to say the kid's name, and then when I do the birthday shout-out, I say it wrong. Oh, that's a whole nother type of heat coming from the moms. They come up here talking about some.
I was on live while you were trying to give my daughter a birthday shout out, and the entire family now heard how disrespectful you are by forgetting her name.
I remember one specific time where I pronounced a girl's name Ariana instead of Ariana, and the mom came up at me and was just like, how dare you? Like, I wrote down the name of the kid, I just mispronounced it, I'm sorry. I write it down now because I used to completely forget the names, and that was a problem. But I can't help it, like, I'm sorry. This time, I'll just write out the pronunciation next to the name, too, because wouldn't want to forget. I'm not Superman, I'm a DJ. And in my defense, it wasn't like it was right then and there. Like, she had me do it 15 minutes after she said it, so I had 15 minutes to forget. So I forgot. Moving on to song requests. Everybody's like, why don't you give song requests? Let me make it very plain and simple. Kids come up to me and request the same damn 3 songs. The Whippin' Nene, the WAP, which they shouldn't even be listening to, and pretty much anything by Justin Bieber at this point. I don't know what it is, but it's like these kids have formed a cult and they're like, request only these 3 things. Nothing but these 3 things. That, and then there is actually an occasional girl that comes up and is like, can you like play that one TikTok compilation off of YouTube? I'm gonna be honest, I ain't even heard it before. But I know once I play it once, it becomes one of those things I have to play 50 times a day. The Whippin' Nene is just terrible. WAP is inappropriate. And there's nothing wrong with Justin Bieber, it just gets requested 24/7. I would do song requests if people were more diverse. The only other reason I really don't do song requests is because usually I have my list, like I plan it out. I go through, I move everything around to where it kind of makes sense. That way it's not like death metal to country music to death metal to hip hop to pop to R&B. I'm just kidding, we don't play death metal or country here. It doesn't give off a skating vibe, you know? If you come in here and request death metal or country music, just know I'm definitely not gonna play it, I'm sorry. And there's nothing against that music, it just doesn't really fit a skate vibe. There are times when people give me a song, I tell them no and I still play it. I just don't want to tell them yes because then they expect it the next song, and a lot of times I work it into my list. It may come on like 5 or 6 songs later, but that's because it's where it makes sense. There's also something about a kid coming up to me more than once that just annoys the shit out of me. Like if the kid comes up to me once and he's like, hey, will you play this song? And I'm like, sure. I feel like I'm opening up a doorway. Because once I say yes to them, they tell all their friends that I take song requests. And then I have the same kid and 10 of their friends come up to me requesting thousands of songs, usually by the same artist because they all listen to the same person, and it just, hell no! I'm not trying to listen to 2 hours of Trolls music either. You'd be surprised by the fact that majority of the time a parent comes and requests music, it's not old stuff. I don't mean old, it's more like 90s, that's not really old. It's like middle age. No, it's not middle age. Oh, I'm gonna get so much hate for calling them middle age.
Oh my god.
No, but majority of the time that it's an adult coming up here to request music, it's for their kid, and they're requesting some shit like Frozen, Trolls, other kids shows and shit. Like, I feel bad for them parents. I know damn well at home the kid's like, Trolls! Play Trolls! There's just certain movies that I know my kid could never watch. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to listen to the soundtrack every day for the rest of my life. And you would think these parents would learn from it, but no, they still take the kid to go see the next movie that's just like it, and then boom, there's another soundtrack you're gonna hear for the next 5 years on repeat. But I do sometimes play their music, you know what I mean, like the kids' music, but never on like a Saturday night. Like when I have a parent come up to me and they're like, hey, can you play Frozen, Let It Go? And it's like 7 p.m. on a Saturday night. I'm like, are you on something? Like you gotta be on crack if you think I'm gonna let this whole crowd listen to Let It Go at 7 p.m. Now, if it's a crowd full of kids, I'll do it. But 90% of the time on Saturday nights, it's adults. And when I play that stuff, they look at me like I should be working at a gas station, not a DJ. Also, nothing wrong with working at a gas station. I say a lot of things that could be taken the wrong way. I'm sorry. Now, let's talk about the famous roller skating games. The dice game, Limbo, Shark Attack, Red Light, Green Light, and races. Now, we don't do races anymore because some girl fell and broke her face in 6 places. Not kidding. But as for the other 4 games, we do still play those. It's just I can't play them back to back. Kids don't understand that when I finish playing Limbo, I can't play Red Light, Green Light 20 minutes later. And if you're like,
but why not?
I'm gonna explain it. So say I'm playing Red Light, Green Light, and I have to clear the floor for all 3 rounds, which usually takes up about 10 minutes. So in those 10 minutes, the people that choose not to play the game are sitting on the edge of the floor doing nothing. So say they finally get back on the floor after that 10 minutes of sitting there doing nothing. They're already kind of like,
ugh, that was so annoying, I just wanted to skate.
But then, 15 to 20 minutes later, I'm like, alright you guys, we're gonna play Shark Attack, clear the floor. Make that make sense.
Make that make sense.
And you're probably like, well, they can just play the game. You also got to remember there's a lot of people that are not that good at skating. And when they play games like this, they are more likely to get hurt. So I fully support the idea of people not playing the game if they don't feel comfortable. And at the same time, dealing with the kids during these games takes a lot of energy out of me. More than y'all will probably ever know. I also have to put a lot more bass in my voice whenever I'm talking to the mic because naturally I have a kind of weird voice and I don't really like it. So whenever I'm talking, I'm like, all right, you guys. So right now we're going to be playing Red Light, Green Light. If you want to play, go ahead and line up against the snack bar wall. Dude, I sound goofy. Now I'm embarrassed to be a DJ. But it's okay because I'm getting paid. The point I was trying to get to, I'm sorry, is that if I play a game and clear the floor and people are having to wait for 10 more minutes, and I let them back on the floor for about 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then make them get back off for another 10 minutes, they're just gonna leave. And I know this because we actually tested it. Whenever we played games back to back like that, we had such a smaller crowd because people kept just leaving whenever the games are going on. And you're like, well, you're still making the same amount of money because you're still paid to come in. It's not about the money. It's about having a good time, having a crowd, having a good amount of people here that are actually skating. I don't know, it just makes the place feel so much more alive when you actually have people here. Have you ever been to a roller rink that has like nobody skating at it?
It's boring as shit.
Now, it's good if you want to go practice, but if you're trying to have a vibe, it's boring as shit. Whenever it's packed and stuff though, there's loud music going, the lights are on, it's a lot of fun, there's a lot of people, it's just a whole vibe. So if people are leaving because there's too many damn games going on, there's no vibe. And on top of that, playing games kills the vibe. Say I'm playing a lot of music and I have all the lights down low, and it's just a nice, like, ooh, soothing type vibe. Then I'm like, all right, we're gonna play Limbo. No, then I gotta turn all the lights on. Completely kills the entire mood that we had going. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think I did a pretty good job of it. But just know, I do try to play games. When I play too many games, it just doesn't work. So you gotta bear with me. I do play games. Let's talk a little bit about the music and what I play. So I have people come up to me and they're like,
this ain't skating music.
For instance, this Saturday, this literally just happened. A lady came up to me at the booth and she was like, I need you to play some more skating music. This is good skating music. What is this? I can't groove to this. Well, this is more upbeat skate music. I have to keep it clean for the kids. You can still play a little something. Then she left and came back about 10 minutes later. Are you ever gonna play anything with some kind of beat to it? This does have a beat. No, like a black beat. Yes, she literally said that. Ma'am, you realize I'm playing California Love by Tupac right now, right? Psh, whatever, man. Look, I'm sorry, man, but you haven't even given me a song request to go off of. You know I'm here out of state and this is the music you're playing? You're ridiculous. And then she walked away. While this whole thing's happening, my friend's actually sitting at the edge of the booth and he looks at me and he's like,
did she ever even give you an example of what she wanted you to play?
And I was like, nope. So how was I supposed to know exactly what you wanted to hear? I play literally everything that's appropriate, but I can't play what you want me to hear if you don't tell me what you want to hear. You can't just say something to vibe to, but maybe your vibe is different than everybody else's vibe. And I get that different states have different music, because that is a thing. Like Dallas sometimes listens to different music than Georgia, that listens to different music from Cincinnati, and it's a whole thing. I get that, but if you want me to play more of your stuff, you need to explain that to me, and explain to me what your stuff is, so that I can play it, if it's appropriate for kids. Might I add that this is also like 2 p.m. on a Saturday when I have a bunch of kids parties going on, so she made no sense. I even let her know that if she wanted to come back on an adult night or like later in the night, it'd probably be better music for her. But she didn't want to hear that. She wanted it right there and then, and she wanted it her way. Except I still had no idea exactly what she wanted me to play. I would have to say that one of the hardest things about being a DJ at a roller rink is the amount of people that feel ballsy enough to complain. Like, it must be nice to work at a club, because when you go to a club, all the people there are already So the DJ doesn't have to worry too much about the people coming up and like actually paying attention to the music. Half the time they're just completely messed up. I'm sure DJs at clubs do get their share of issues because people are tipsy, but I don't know. I just feel like it can't be as bad because they're so messed up they're not even paying attention to the music. Like they're vibing to it, but they don't actually know what's playing. Versus at a roller rink, they're all completely sober. And they want you to know that they hate you, and your music, and your family, and your face. I literally had a dude come up here before that just had a full-on conversation about how bad my music was. I'm sure I'm making myself sound like I'm a bad DJ by the amount of issues I have, but I don't really have a lot of issues. This is just like the stuff that happens, you know what I mean? You're hearing all the bad. I just feel like DJing at a roller rink is so hard. And it's not like I have turntables to deal with. I don't have to worry about mixing. I'm literally putting music in order. But everybody complains at a roller rink, whether it's a parent, a kid that wants to hear Dora, or someone that knows music and they're like, nah, I need to hear some of this because this is trash. I'm like, alright, then you come up here and DJ. And then they actually try to come up here and I have to say, never mind, I'm just kidding. I guess what I'm trying to get at is learn to appreciate the DJ at a roller rink. And I'm not just talking about me, but we actually put up with a lot of stuff from a lot of people because everybody that walks through that door, majority of them are sober. There's a few people that come in here already messed up, and that's a whole nother story. But us DJs have to put up with a lot of different stuff from a lot of different type of people. And everybody in a roller rink does. And I'm sure that's everywhere you work, but I'm just saying, Lord, it feels like y'all have a lot of balls coming up and yelling at the DJ. I could literally just turn off the music for like 5 minutes and make y'all skate in silence. I've done it before. The last time I did it was because nobody would wear a mask and I got sick of it. So I just shut off the music and I went over the mic and I was like, hey, if y'all don't put on a mask, I'm just gonna let y'all skate in silence. And this is pretty boring. So don't think I won't turn off the music if y'all give me a bunch of shit over the music. Like, why am I gonna play the music if you don't even like the music? Just saying. No, but DJing's so fun. I actually love it. In reality, I really do love DJing. It's just hard to deal with a lot of the people. But there you have it. There's a little explanation of what goes on in DJ Dawson's head. Just know I really do try to give the crowd the best experience I can. I just also got to play to a bunch of different sides. So if you're not necessarily loving the music 1 second, just know you probably will in a minute or two. I just got to get through a certain amount of songs for a certain type of people before I can play your type of music. I got to play everything. That's just how it is, except for Screamo and country. It just doesn't fit into a roller rink, I swear. Regardless, thank you for listening to me rant on about DJing. And if you enjoy listening to me talk for some reason, don't forget to hit that subscribe, like button down below, and comment what you'd like to see more of on YouTube, because I do need some help figuring out what I'm going to do next. But again, I love y'all, stay safe, have a great week, and I'll see y'all next Thursday.